Hey guys, welcome to another video. Milo here, and today we are playing Stanley Parable Deluxe once again, so let's get started. End is never the end is never the end.
This is all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh wait, hold on. I think I've seen a video on this.
Yeah, the Ultra Deluxe.
Oh good, you noticed
Yeah.
my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to
We're
show you.
finally going through the new content that I've had unlocked since like my third ending I got.
Huh.
But I've just waited because you get the bucket, and the bucket changes a whole bunch of endings. Like, we're gonna just get all the endings, and then we'll get the bucket.
Okay.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Here's your name in the game. Button that says the name of the player that's playing the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim.
Press it.
All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Jim.
See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button said. But no. Instead, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
Jim.
Oh, my gym button.
Your gym button.
It's my gym button. It's not my name button. It's my gym button.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable too. They would appreciate what I've created here.
Jump circle, infinite hole.
Is that Jim?
The jump circle.
You know what,
has
Stanley?
turned.
I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
Wait, is that the only place you jump?
The game does not actually have jump.
That's great.
I just got an achievement. No, you can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
I guess we go back up now.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Is that Jim?
That's Stanley. That's a Stanley collectible.
Oh.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life. God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Where's the infinite hole? It's right here. The infinite hole is fun. No screenshot.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Get well someday or happy 12th birthday step. I guess get well someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Where's the infinite hole? I want the infinite hole. Correction, I want the not so.
So I'm watching your Indigo Park video while watching your current
Stanley, here's an idea
video,
that I'm
and it's
truly
so
fond of.
good.
It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
No.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
No. I want to
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me? Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great! Now, I'm very excited. Oh, for heaven! You see, I was right.
Back in the hole.
The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of...
We're already at the bottom.
Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here?
It's gotten
Stanley,
smaller.
I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here,
And
let's
I want
try
you to
something.
look at that.
Let's pop back up to
and
the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Oh, there it is. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
It's not working.
Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
Round.
Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else.
You're trapped
Take
in
care,
the
Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
hole. Oh. I hear noises. Oh, we're going down.
Oh yeah, you are.
Down we go.
I like that music.
What?
I like that music.
Where are we going down to?
The center of Earth.
Oh!
I love that one.
This is beautiful. Change your perception. Never mind, I like this one.
Beautiful. Change your reality.
What?
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Oh my god.
Oh, puppies!
Doggies. Oh god.
No. Wait, what?
You're in the cave.
I'm gonna
This is
take a screenshot
beautiful.
of this.
Stanley? 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 Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting
Bruh.
away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because
I'm
this
glad
hole
I took a
is just
screenshot.
so darn
I did.
fascinating that I want you to be...
Hang on, let me make sure I save this screenshot. This is beautiful. This is just straight up the thumbnail for this part. This is nothing needs to be
That's
changed.
great.
It's
wide awake
perfect.
for every second of it. You don't want to miss a
Upside
single
down
moment.
Stanley
So
in the
how about
pyramids.
if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole?
No.
From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back.
Toodle pip. Aww. Oh, so I forgot. Oh, I was gonna say I didn't get the bucket.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
That's what button grab. We've done everything else, I think. Dang.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
He said it's an autistic statement.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
The epilogue.
We need the reuser bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2. Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already. All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Bro, what is that? I don't like that.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go, version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Okay then.
This is the story.
Oh yeah, now there's a bullet.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley picked up the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here.
Bucket.
It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley.
But
Don't
it's
give
not
in.
clean
Don't
bucket.
hand over the bucket.
My bucket.
I know how hard it must be.
It's
Given
your
the pressure
bucket.
that the
It's
broom
my
closet is
bucket.
putting on your shoulders
Exactly.
right
It's
now,
my
but you
bucket.
have to be strong.
My bucket.
This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends, that your relationship is purely superficial and
He's
convenient,
insulting my
that your
bucket.
life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner. Well, I'd never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you
don't
and the
get
bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by
Mine.
point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years.
My
Let him
bucket.
have it.
My bucket.
Your bucket.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There.
There.
Now
Good
it's
long
settled.
enough. That's
No
all I
more
was trying to
debate,
get.
no more discussion. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work
And now
hours.
we get
He
to
might be
walk in
fined for that.
circles
And
until
in
we
such a
drop dead.
competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong.
I don't know
Surely
what
no
happened.
good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience?
What happened? That's not how that ending goes. What just happened? I think I broke the game.
All of his co-workers were
You
gone.
broke the game.
What could
Hold
it
on.
mean? Stanley decided to
I'm
go
going
to the
back.
meeting room. Perhaps he had Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of
I'll
comfort
have to
rushed
show you
over him.
the thing, because it would... The game
Stanley
said no.
clung the bucket to his cheek.
Oh, I thought
Could
it was
his
a red
co-workers
bucket
really
at
all be
first.
gone?
Yep.
Not a rusty bucket.
Yep. Come on.
Yes, whispered
Oh,
the
yeah,
bucket
you
into
broke the
Stanley's
game.
ear.
Oh,
We've
this
done
is
it.
actually intentional.
We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At
The other time
last,
wasn't
out here
intentional.
in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self. The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers
Yeah,
of innocent
so
humans,
the bucket,
and the
for whatever
bucket's
reason,
own
has
complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps, if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley. What are you talking about? He screamed. You're a bucket! To this, the bucket furrowed its brow. No, said the bucket. Not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No! Stanley screamed even louder this time. This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this? As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like... My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket.
No!
Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
I don't understand.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
No, you grabbed the bucket. You're not supposed to do that.
Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch. but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the
Why wasn't I? Whoa! Why wasn't I supposed to grab the bucket?
Told you not to.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I grabbed the bucket.
magic of the bucket.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, I guess.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where, coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned.
What?
I cut off the narrator.
How dare you?
I stepped into the office and he started talking. I just went, nope, and then the door closed.
How dare you?
Now we just go up a whole bunch of stairs.
How many stairs is there?
A few more. What? Oh!
What a sad story.
I don't know what just happened!
The jump circle.
All of his
The
co-workers
jump
were
circle is
gone.
great.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm checking to see. Oh. Where? Teapot ending. Okay. Wait, so I just not wait. Wait, so I just not have the bucket now?
Where's the bucket? I was like, where's the bucket?
Oh, Stanley instead puts the bucket in the escape pod, which makes it disappear from its pedestal. In the next reset after the reset afterward, a replacement bucket will be present, so noted by a replacement bucket sign. With the narrator asking Stanley not to lose. So we get it back. Well, we get a new one.
But it won't be the same.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee
We are
lounge
gonna
first,
confuzzle the
just to
narrator
admire
now.
it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That's not the way it turns.
Is not.
We walk out, we go here, and we turn this way. Hang on. Am I gonna be able to get the one freaking ending? Is this the different layout? Where's... Hang on, which ending do I need?
All of them.
Whiteboard and... Will instead be blue with layout. Where's room 20?
There it is.
I am so confused.
It's right there.
And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
Why was the door differently, and why can't...
Imagine the bucket dies again.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Do it.
Why was it? What? But it's. What? I'm confused.
Still no one was here.
Here comes Milo.
Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Is this the boss's office?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable.
I forget what the password is.
At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
2845.
Yeah. I knew it started with 2 and had.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
How is this a horror game? What?
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Control ending, museum ending, death ending.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
Circle, you're circling.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the... After taking some time to show... A hint of regret nagged in the back of Stanley's mind. Should he demonstrate the number 3 for the bucket? No, 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 said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
Oof.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of
Just
some
let me go
kind.
back down.
Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
Thank you.
Stanley and the bucket were so close, they'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Why are you barking at me for saying round? Says he just started barking at me, and I'm like, why are you barking at me? Little man, calm down. Little man. Sitting there whining because Sassy's sitting on top of the couch and he can't reach her. Hey! Your girlfriend does not need to be with you every 5 seconds, little man. You're okay.
Ah, said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
Finally.
For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
Open that door then.
This was it.
Open
One
the door
last
again.
chance to win the bucket
I think
over.
all of mine
One
door sound.
opportunity to share a true
yeah,
connection with
I
a
can't
loved one.
Yeah, it is the microphone sound.
Oh.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding.
Yeah, it is.
The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Little man, be quiet, please. Well, I think that'll be it for part 5 now. I don't know. We've